together again. And even the death of John Lennon in 1980 failed to stop that sort of speculation. Well, today in the second part of our interview with Paul McCartney, we asked him why he doesn't think the Beatles reforming would be a very good idea.
As far as I'm concerned, you can't get the Beatles back together again because there were four people. And one of those four was John Lennon, who was a fairly strong ingredient, you know. I think if there's the three of us play, that'll be interesting because that still is the Beatles minus John, so it's the Beatles. It's three-quarters of the Beatles, anyway. I think with this idea of sort of getting Julian, I mean, I feel a bit sorry for him with that. Plus, I don't think he's as good as his dad. You know, much as I love him, he's a great kid and everything. It's nowhere near the same as John.
I think he'd probably be the first to confess that too, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's a real nice fella, Julian, you know, and I think it'd be awkward for everyone, you know, and around about the time when we did break up, I was saying to people, you can't reheat a souffle. You know, and I don't think you can. You know, the Beatles was the Beatles, a very kind of special period in time. It's like saying to people, bring the 60s back. Well, it'd be nice, and we'd all kind of go flapping around with all the Sancho pans and moustaches or whatever they're called, you know. And, you know, all the gear and all that.
Mike Morris will know.
And Mike would know about that, and Jimmy Greaves. I mean, after all, he still is one. But, you know, you just wouldn't be the same, you know. Bring the 60s into the 90s is just a little bit different. So, in a way, I kind of prefer to keep the memory pure as it was, you know, because there it is, man. 10 years of, you know, ups and downs and stuff, but it's there, and the body of work is there, like kind of, big-headed here, but it's like Picasso's work, you know. It's there, it's a body of work. And I kind of don't like the idea of interfering with it, spoiling it now. Now John's not here. The three of us all go, yeah, well, we're nearly the Beatles, you know. But there are some things, I mean, I've never written with George. And I think that would be very interesting.
You'd like to?
I'd like to, yeah.
How's it all changed? What's the business like today?
Not as innocent as it used to be. When we came down to London, all the sort of journalists were kind of, you know, well, your fans want to know about you. And it was kind of, oh, you know, and you had fun and stuff. Now it's like they're critics, you know, and you know the critics and they know you know the critics. So it's like it's all serious. I'm sorry I've written this one. I'll try harder next time. You know, you feel threatened.
Do you
and
with
some
the
of the
new
younger
album?
Kids coming up, you know,
yeah.
they get a lot of that,
yeah.
More than I do.
But the new album, do you release something now and concern yourself about it, despite everything you've done?
Yeah, I think so, you know. Obviously, at the back of my mind, I think, well, if it doesn't work, I can give up knowing I've done something in the business, you know. It won't panic me as much as it might have done at some point, you know. I think after the Beatles, I had to kind of prove to myself I could do it without being in the Beatles. But even that, I kind of feel like I've proved to myself. And I've been so lucky, you know. I should be so lucky. But I have been very lucky, you know, and I've fulfilled, you know, a lot of dreams and stuff. So if it didn't work out, I wouldn't be quite as worried. But having said that, anything you put out, this interview for you, you kind of hope it will go well. You know, I don't think anyone does a thing and then thinks, I hope this fails. So you're just the same as anyone. You hope it'll work. But having done what I've done, I wouldn't, you know, lose much sleep, I don't think.
Yeah, the new album Flowers in the Dirt released this week. Paul McCartney, part 3 of that series of interviews tomorrow at the same time. He's interesting on his relationship with Elvis Costello, actually. We'll see if we can't dig something out about that tomorrow. Gerry Marsden is still with us. Gerry, welcome back. You, of course, were very much a part of that 60s era.
Sure. I must say, doesn't Paul look great?
Yes.
He really does look smart.
I'll tell you, watching that interview back,
devil.
the one thing that worries me is that he...
The flowers behind your head.
Whatever...
Oh, that worries me too, Terry. Did you see that? He puts himself in front of the nice background.
In the best, that's right. Sticks Paul against the wall, that's right.
That's right.
That's the closest
we
I ever
noticed
got
that.
to the 60s, let me tell you.
Noticed it.
Paul, and I could do with losing a stone in weight, couldn't I? You see the size of my face?
Because he's fit, God bless him. We have to work, Paul doesn't. We need to eat to keep us healthy to work. Paul doesn't do it. No, he looked great. I think he looks
interesting,
smashing.
actually. During the time I sat with him there and we had a bit of a giggle about it, he probably earned £1 million.
Yeah, that's true.
During the course of that conversation.
God, to be rich. Rich and handsome and talented, what more can you ask for?
What sort of relationship did you have with the Beatles during that period?
I mean, I met the boys when they must have been, I don't know, 13, 14, and they had a skiffle group called the Quarrymen, and I had a skiffle group called the Gerry Marsden Skiffle Band. And we played lots of places. I mean, just became very, very good friends, and they were great. The thing is, though, when we started, Paul and John, you could see this incredible talent they had.
Mm.
Just that, even without Brian Epstein, Paul and John would have made it in the business. They just had this great talent. Brian came along and made it a little bit quicker for them, which he did for us as well. But yeah, I could see the talent in them. As young kids, they had this great, especially Paul. Him and John sort of gelled together. Even if they didn't write songs together, there was something magic between them. And I always said to my band, Macca and Lennon, are going to be fantastic. And,
Macca?
of
course, that's good.
well, he's a friend, Paul McCartney. And it's great that they actually did it quicker, but very talented lads. Great.
The one thing I give my right arm for, and we talked about this too, was his own personal Beatles tour of Liverpool. The number of times he's taken the family around Liverpool.
Sure.
And sat outside of his house one day, and Linda was with him and the family, and he was saying, look, you know, there's the drain pipe. We scurried down, and that was the fence we used to hide behind if we were late in. And there's a fellow walking along the street who just leaned in the car, had no idea who was in it, and said, yeah, it's true, he used to live there, you know, and walked on. Had no idea it was McCartney and Co in the family.
I know, they're lovely, lovely. Liverpool people are very, very funny. Great sense of humour and things. I mean, similar to that, I flew back from Hong Kong to do the Wembley trip, and we leave the hotel and we're going down to the ground in this police van with a few police in the back and my wife and my manager Derek in the back, and we're going down. So I open the window because all the lads are walking down, all the scousers, and this fella come up, Gerry, oh great to see you, have you got any tickets? So I said I've just come back from Hong Kong. He said, well, couldn't you get any there? You know, brilliant. And the policeman said, close the window. I said, you're joking, these are lovely people. And it just great, you're getting a ticket to the match in Hong Kong. Lovely people.
Probably had a better chance.
And I can imagine the guy saying to Paul, yeah, he lived there, not realising it was Paul's.
Gerry Marsden, great to see you this morning. Stay with us, plenty of time to talk
Certainly will, Richard.
now and 9 o'clock, of course.
That's right, more from Gerry today, more from Paul tomorrow. More from Carol right now. Good morning to you, Carol.
Good morning, Mike, and hello, good morning to you. Right, let's take a look at the old weather. Quick look at it now, because news